I grew up with the philosophy that sport can help you become a better person. And I want to be remembered as somebody who used their tennis to impact other people. I'll take that. These are the courts I grew up playing on. When I was a kid, my dad and I, we were looking for us or whatever, you knew we'd probably be out here on this first court.
Coco Gauff just landed one of the biggest endorsement deals in tennis history, a massive partnership with Rolex. And let's just say, the reaction across the tennis world was intense. Some players are happy for her, others, let's just say a few smiles looked a little forced. So tell me, is Coco's success rubbing people the wrong way? Or is it pure jealousy? The news dropped early this morning. Coco Gauff is officially teaming up with Rolex. Yeah, that Rolex. The brand that screams luxury, status, and history. The same one that's had Roger Federer, Serena Williams, and Tiger Woods on its roster. Now, add Coco Gauff to that elite list.
Tell me about your ambitions in tennis.
What do you mean?
And it
And let me tell you, the internet went crazy. Tennis fans were hyped. The media flooded timelines with her photos. And the brand world basically said, yep, she's the future. But not everyone was smiling, because somewhere across the tour, a few players probably choked on their protein shakes when they saw the headline, Coco Gauff x Rolex, and leading that silent reaction list, Aryna Sabalenka. Now, before anyone comes running, no, Aryna didn't say anything. But tennis fans online noticed that she suddenly went quiet after the announcement. Which is funny because she's usually pretty active when big stories drop. She's the kind of player who posts her grind, her training, her wins, her brand deals. She's not shy about that stuff. But this time, total silence. And people noticed. Because here's the thing, Coco's new Rolex deal isn't just another sponsorship. It's a statement. Rolex doesn't just hand out partnerships. They pick icons. Athletes who define eras. Federer, Serena, Evert, and now Coco. That means something. It means they're not just investing in a player, they're investing in a legacy. And that's where things get interesting. Because Aryna Sabalenka, for all her power, trophies, and raw dominance, hasn't exactly gotten that kind of recognition outside the court. She's a Grand Slam champ, yes. She's ranked high, yes. But in terms of global influence, Coco's miles ahead. And that's got to sting a little. You can already see the difference in how brands move. Coco's not even at her peak yet, and she's already the face of Nike, New Balance, Barilla, Bose, and now Rolex. She's everywhere, from fashion events to magazine covers. She's built for this new generation of sports icons. Meanwhile, Aryna, as good as she is, hasn't been able to break that same ceiling. And it's not because she's not talented. It's because Coco brings more than just power. She brings presence.
I remember she's about 5 or 6 years old and we were watching Australian Open. Serena wins. I remember saying, man, she's gonna be the GOAT. And she said, what is the GOAT? I said, that's the greatest of all time. She's like, I wanna be a GOAT. So I ran out and bought a racket. That's kind of how it all started.
When Rolex released the promo video, it hit hard. It wasn't just about watches, it was about legacy, family, and growth. The video opened with Coco practicing on the same courts where she grew up in Delray Beach. You could hear her voice saying, these are the courts I grew up playing on. My dad and I, you'd find us right here. Then it cuts to her dad, recalling how she once said she wanted to be a GOAT after watching Serena win. That moment, that spark, became the start of everything. And Rolex captured that perfectly. It wasn't flashy, it wasn't loud, it was meaningful. They told Coco's story like it was history being written. from watching Serena as a child to becoming the player young girls now watch her.
I think I just enjoyed the fact that, everything is on your racket, your terms. My first tournament that I won, I was 8. It was Little Mo in New York City. It was the first time that we felt like I could do something far in this sport.
And honestly, it's a marketing masterpiece. Because Coco doesn't need to try to be relatable. She is relatable. She's young but wise, confident but humble, competitive but grounded. She's the full package, and Rolex knows it. Now, fans online started drawing comparisons immediately. Coco's getting Rolex deals while others are still complaining about line calls. Some players throw rackets, Coco signs contracts. The sarcasm was strong, but it tells you how people see her. She's not just another athlete. She's the face of the next generation, someone who brings grace and grit at the same time. And honestly, that's why envy hits so fast, because it's not just about money. It's about respect. Coco's getting recognition that others have been chasing for years.
I was 10 in this picture. It was a big deal because to tell somebody you're a national champion, they think you're legit. When I kind of made my name in the sport at Wimbledon 2019, this is one of the dresses that I wore throughout.
It reminds me of when Serena first signed her massive Puma deal back in the day. People doubted her too, said she was too young, too outspoken, too different. But now, Serena's a business empire. Coco's walking that same road, and it's making some folks nervous. Let's be real. Aryna's been grinding for years. She's been vocal about not always getting the same credit or attention. She's even hinted in interviews that sometimes image matters more than pure performance. And now, seeing Coco get a Rolex deal at just 21, that's gotta hit a nerve.
It's remarkable. She's the youngest qualifier in history, and now she's about to compete against her idol, Venus Williams.
It felt like a storybook.
Her game is so calm and so focused.
I just remember not looking at the scoreboard the entire match because I didn't want to see her name. The hardest points of the match were the match points. It felt like I was holding my breath. I don't want to be known as the girl who got close.
Because Coco doesn't just play tennis. She represents something bigger. Her grandma integrated schools in the 1950s. Her dad turned empty courts into a dream factory. Her mom taught her discipline and patience. And now, Coco's turning all of that history into motion. She's not just wearing a luxury brand. She's redefining what that luxury means. When Rolex said they chose Coco for her commitment to excellence and character, that line wasn't random. That's what brands want now, athletes who carry purpose, not just trophies. And Coco brings that everywhere she goes. She's talked about her faith, her family, her belief that you can change the world with your racket. Those aren't just nice quotes. That's her whole philosophy. That's the kind of mindset companies dream of aligning with. Meanwhile, the tennis world's watching this all unfold, and you can practically hear the whispers. Why her? Why so fast? Is it just PR? The answer's simple. It's because Coco gets it. She understands what modern athletes are supposed to be. Not just winners, but voices. Not just players, but icons. Aryna's an incredible athlete, no doubt. But Coco has that rare ability to make everything she touches feel bigger. When she wins, it's not just a personal victory, it's a cultural one. That's why brands line up for her. And this Rolex partnership, it's the cherry on top. It's validation that Coco Gauff has officially crossed into elite territory. She's no longer the rising star, she's the star. But here's where it gets funny. The internet can't help but make everything into drama. Within hours, you had fans editing photos, making memes, and writing fake captions like Aryna checking her wrist like, still no Rolex. The memes were brutal but hilarious. Even tennis Twitter had a field day. One post read, Rolex signed Coco because her time is now. Another said, Aryna's gonna start wearing a Casio out of protest. That's the internet for you. Savage but accurate. Because deep down, this deal isn't just about watches, it's about timing. Coco's timing has always been perfect. From beating Venus at 15 to winning her first Grand Slam, to now becoming one of the youngest athletes in history to land a deal with Rolex. Everything about her rise feels poetic. She's living proof that when you combine talent with authenticity, success follows naturally. She doesn't chase it, it comes to her, and that's probably what makes others uneasy. Because Coco's not out here begging for attention or trying to prove herself through loud interviews. She just works, and the world notices. That calm, steady confidence, that's her real flex. While others are counting rankings, she's counting blessings. And apparently, brand partnerships. And let's be honest, Rolex didn't just sign Coco for what she's done. They signed her for what's coming next. She's the kind of player who's still at the beginning of her prime. She's got another decade, maybe more, of dominance ahead of her, and Rolex knows that. They want to grow with her, and that's what makes this deal so powerful. It's not a quick campaign, it's a long-term legacy move. Because Coco isn't just wearing a Rolex, she is a Rolex, precise, classy, powerful, timeless. And for someone like Aryna, who's been fighting tooth and nail for every ounce of respect, watching that must be frustrating, to say the least. But Coco earned it, every single second of it. The moment the Rolex partnership hit social media, you could feel the shift. Every tennis page, fashion account, and sports magazine had Coco's face front and center. It wasn't just an announcement, it was a takeover. But what really got people talking wasn't the deal itself, it was the reaction. Within minutes, fans started comparing it to Aryna Sabalenka's situation. Comments like, "Coco's getting global brand deals while Aryna's still fighting line judges," or "Aryna better start wearing a swatch now," were flooding timelines. It was classic internet chaos, half jokes, half truth. Because whether fans admit it or not, there's a little tension between the two stars. They're competitors. Coco's rise has been explosive, fast, and polished. Aryna's has been gritty, emotional, and hard-earned. Both paths are valid, but only one seems to come with the big brand spotlight. And that difference hits hard. Aryna built her career on power and raw emotion. She's an absolute force on court. No one's denying that. But Coco? She built her career on power and poise. She knows how to handle pressure, media, fans, all of it. When she steps in front of a camera, it feels natural. When Aryna does, it sometimes feels forced. That's not shade. That's just how branding works. So when a company like Rolex, known for elegance and consistency, picks someone to represent them, it's not just about results. It's about image. And Coco Gauff's image is spotless. Rolex loves class, history, and composure. Coco has all three. She carries herself like a 30-year-old veteran in a 21-year-old body. She doesn't chase drama. She doesn't tweet cryptic lines after a loss. She just works, wins, and smiles. And that's why envy hits hard. Because for athletes who constantly feel overlooked, Coco's calm success must look effortless, even though it isn't. Let's not forget, this deal didn't just appear overnight. Rolex doesn't call you after one good match. They've been watching Coco for years, since that 2019 Wimbledon run when she took down Venus Williams at just 15. That was the day the world met Coco Gauff. And ever since, she's been building a reputation that no amount of PR spin can buy. That's what separates her from the rest. While others chase sponsorships, Coco attracts them. She's the kind of athlete brands want to be around. She speaks clearly, dresses sharp, respects fans, and always shows gratitude. She's never been caught in a controversy, never made a messy headline. For a company like Rolex, that's golden, and it's not like Coco doesn't deserve it. Her story fits the Rolex legacy perfectly, built on time, discipline, and precision. Remember that moment in the campaign video where she says, "Sport can help you become a better person?" That's the kind of line that sticks. She's not just talking about trophies. She's talking about growth, and that's exactly what Rolex markets. Excellence earned through time and effort. The ad even featured her father's voice, talking about how she started as a little girl who just wanted to play. You could see old photos, her first courts, her early matches. It wasn't just an ad. It was storytelling at its finest. And of course, the watch she wore, a subtle silver Rolex Oyster Perpetual, instantly became the most talked about accessory in tennis. Now here's where the sarcasm kicks in. While Coco's Rolex post hit 2 million likes, Aryna's most recent workout clip barely touched 100,000. Fans started comparing stats like it was a match. Coco 2M, Aryna 100K, straight sets, one fan commented. Brutal. But it's not just numbers, it's symbolism. Rolex represents a rival. It's a sign that you're not just good, you're iconic. It's saying, we see you not just as a player, but as a timeless brand. And Aryna, she knows that, which is probably why her silence spoke louder than any statement could. It's no secret that Aryna's had a love-hate relationship with the media. One minute she's celebrating a title, the next, she's fighting critics who call her emotional or inconsistent. Meanwhile, Coco faces the same pressure but handles it with ease. That's the difference. And that's why companies notice. To make things even more interesting, Coco's deal reportedly includes not just commercials, but also a legacy initiative. Rolex will help fund youth tennis programs inspired by Coco's quote, "You can change the world with your racket." That's powerful. She's not just cashing checks. She's using her platform to build something lasting. And that's exactly why she's becoming the face of modern tennis. Meanwhile, tennis gossip pages went wild. Headlines like, "Coco Gauff becomes Rolex's youngest female ambassador," and "Rolex chooses Gauff over older champions," started popping up everywhere. You know that must have stung for some of the veterans still waiting on similar recognition. But Coco's rise is proof that this new era of tennis belongs to players who balance skill with authenticity. She's not trying to act like anyone else. She's not begging for validation. She's just being Coco. And somehow, that's enough to shake up the entire sport. And let's talk about timing, because the irony's hilarious. This deal dropped right after Aryna gave an interview saying, "Sometimes I feel like people only focus on certain players." Yeah, that aged fast. Because while Aryna's talking about getting overlooked, Coco's over here collecting Rolex deals like merit badges. When you watch Coco, you don't just see a player, you see a story. She connects with people who don't even watch tennis. That's why she's on Time covers, hosting at award shows, and now, wearing a Rolex. She's transcending the sport, and not everyone's comfortable with that. Because envy doesn't just come from losing matches. It comes from realizing someone else is living the dream you thought was yours. Her rise keeps getting bigger. And honestly, the envy? It's only proof of how far she's come. What do you think? Is Coco officially the new face of tennis? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button, and subscribe for more updates like this one.